Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 78th tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we are going to generate the Fibonacci series using recursion. Now those of you who do not know what the Fibonacci series is, it's pretty simple. The first term in the series is 0, the second term is 1, and the third term is obtained by adding the first two terms. The fourth term is obtained by adding the third term and the second term. So basically from the third term onwards, as you move in the series, you have to add the previous two terms to get the current term, right? So the fifth term is obtained as a sum of the third term and the fourth term, and the 20th term is obtained as the sum of the 18th term and the 19th term, and so on and so forth. And in case you guys are interested in knowing more about the Fibonacci series, then you can look up for an article on Fibonacci on Wikipedia, and there is an article there, but I don't think there's anything more to know about Fibonacci than what I've told you guys just now. So it's a pretty simple series, and we're going to generate 10 terms in the series using recursion. But this program, the one that you see on the screen right now, is not limited to generate just 10. You can generate as many as you want, but you know, I could just get 10 on the screen, I mean in the output window, so that's why I decided to keep 10. And basically what we're going to try to print is 0, 1, 1, and then 2, 3, and then 5, and then 8, and then 13, and what else, 13 plus 8 is 21, and then 21 plus 13 is 34, right? So we're going to have all these terms in the sequence, and we're going to generate the sequence using recursion. So let's get started. As you can see, using code blocks, I've saved a file. I've given it the name Fibonacci.c, and on line 1 in this file I have the stdio.h header file, and then on line number 2 I have declared a function which is pretty simple, and it's going to return an integer value. The name of the function is Fibo, that's the short form for Fibonacci, and then it's going to receive one argument of integer type. That's why we see the keyword int in the parameter list. Then I have a semicolon to terminate the function declaration statement. Then on line number 3 I have declared the main function, and then between the curly braces for main I have a few lines of code and one for loop running. And on line number 5 I have declared an integer, and I have given it the name x, and this integer is going to be used as the counter variable for the for loop. So the for loop runs through value 0 to 9 for the variable x, and we're going to have 10 iterations for the loop, so that's why we're going to have 10 terms in the series. And in the first iteration of the loop, the value of x is going to be 0, and for the last iteration the value of x is going to be 9. So the Fibo function is going to be called 10 times, and in the first iteration the value that's going to be passed is 0, right? And for each time I have the %d format specifier to display the number that's going to be generated through this function here. And I also have the /t escape sequence, and this is the horizontal tab, so I would want to have some kind of gap between the numbers, consecutive numbers in the series. So anyway, that's all I have in the main function. And then on line number 11 I have the function definition for the Fibo function. So I have the int keyword here again because the function is going to return an integer value, and then the name of the function, which is Fibo, and then the dummy parameter for this function is I. It's of integer type because the value x is going to be passed to it, right? So x is of integer type, so this also has to be integer. And then inside the function definition we see that we're going to check first where the value that's been passed is 0 or not, because remember I told you that the first term is 0. So if the value of x that's been passed is 0, we need the first term. So for that we have to return 0. That's pretty obvious. The second term, as I said, is 1. So if this test fails, then it's going to check whether the value of I, or the value that's been passed, is 1 or not. If that is the case, then we're going to return 1, right? Because the second term is 1. In all other cases, it's going to return the function Fibo called with the value I minus 1 plus I minus 2, right? So it's pretty simple. I'm not going to explain recursion here again, but just get the idea of this. If suppose the value that's been passed is 5, it means that we need 5 terms, right? So this test is going to fail. The first if statement is going to fail. The second if statement is also going to fail. And the third if statement is going to return to us the function Fibo called with the value 5 minus 1, that's 4, plus the value 5 minus 1, that's 3. So it's basically going to return to us Fiboport plus Fibo3, and ultimately it's all going to boil down to the value 0 and 1. So those are going to be the terms that are going to be generated first, and then eventually we're going to get the later terms in the series, right? So I hope you're getting this, and it's really not tough. Just get a piece of paper and a pencil maybe and just try to work through this. It's pretty simple, right? So anyway, let me run the program and show you guys the output. We see that in the output window we get this pretty output. 0 is the first term, 1 is the second, again we have 1 as the third term, and then 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13, and 13 plus 8 is 21, and 21 plus 13 is 34. So we have 10 terms, or do we have more than 10? It can't be the case. 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10. So we have 10 terms, right? And that's it. That's Fibonacci series for you. If you want to generate more, then you can. And if you don't want 5 characters of space between the numbers, then you can reduce the space by removing the /t escape sequence and having fixed number of spaces, maybe 3 characters. That would also make the output look neat, and it'll also allow you to have more numbers in the output window of this size, right? So anyway, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I'm going to see you in the next one, in which we'll discuss something interesting again, and please subscribe to my channel in case you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.